Welcome back to ReddyControls. In the last video we saw about data types. We did talk about the predefined data types. We talked about bools and integers. In this video we're going to focus on learning about the bit instructions. When you're dealing with industrial controls, most of the real world applications use bit instructions for monitoring the status of the inputs. So here in this video we're going to discuss about how these bit instructions are used in the industrial setup and how can we use those instructions to program a start and stop conditions for a machine. As you know, most of the machines in industrial setup have always a green push button which serves the purpose of starting the machine. It's called a start push button, and they also have a red push button which is a stop push button, right? The green start push button is a normally open push button. Most of the push buttons have these are momentary push buttons. That means you had to push it and there is a spring in the back which pushes and then the contacts close. Most of the start push buttons are normally open. That means if you get that part from the shelf in the box, if it's not wired, it's normally open. That means the contacts require an action to be closed. Okay. Whereas the stop push buttons are normally closed push buttons. That means the contacts are normally closed without actuation, and when you actuate it, you open the contacts. Okay. So we're going to see how we can use the bit type instructions to program a start and stop push buttons. So I have a set here. I have a demo set which has some push buttons. They have already wired them. One push button is green in color and it's been wired to a normally open contact. So we'll go ahead and use examine if closed instruction, and since I know the input, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong place. Most of the time, most of the programs have a I/O mapping routine. That's where all the input outputs are mapped. The real world input output are mapped in this routine, and then we create generic names which can be used elsewhere in the program. We'll show you that. So we'll go ahead and add a new rung, and we will do an examine if closed, and I have a compact logics processor here which has a local which has a built-in IO on slot 1. We go ahead and browse slot 1 input data. 0 is my start push button, so we wired it to a green start push button. So we want to, whenever this button is pushed, we want to output energize a memory bit, call it a start push button. So we'll go ahead and start button. I already have start. We'll just create a new one, start underscore push button. Okay, that's an undefined tag, so we right click, create new tag. It's a bool and we call it a start push button on the machine, and we'll go ahead and create it. So whenever you append, whenever you edit a line or add a new line, there are multiple ways you could do. If you are sure about your logic, you go ahead and push this big green sign which is called finalize all edits in the program, or you could either accept pending program edits, which it will accept, the PLC accepts it, and now it will give you a chance to test your logic, test your accepted rungs. So go ahead and test it, and you make sure everything is working. So I'll go ahead and push the button. I push the button and I have a start push button. So logic seems working, so I can go ahead and use assemble accepted program edits, right? So this technique of assembling it and testing it and finalizing, the 3-step method, is useful if you are particularly working on a machine live and you don't want to finalize your rungs without testing, right? So that's how we use it. In our scenario, it's just one rung, so you don't see the difference, but as we go more into the next classes, we'll talk deeply about the difference between the finalize edits and the 3-step method. So we go ahead and void it a start push button. Now we go ahead and map the other input, which is our stop push button. So we know that's you could either copy paste from there, you could just right click, copy instruction, and you could come back to your new rung and you could use right click, paste. That will paste it, so that helps you reduce typing. And I know that's input 2, and see, since it's normally closed, it's already sending a signal that we just do that. Okay, stop push button, so we call it a stop underscore push button. Okay, and it's a new tag, so we go ahead and define a new tag. Excuse me, create. That's it. We just did 2 rungs, both of them using examine if closed instruction and use an OTE. So as we discussed, the start push button is normally open, and stop push button is normally closed. Okay, and you could create a description here. You could go ahead and edit main operand description, and you could say start PB there. And you could call this one edit operand description, and you could put stop PB. Okay, one best practice is, as you develop logic, if you write the comments, that helps you later what you are planning to do here. So now I have both my start and stop button. Now I will have to write a rung which will use the start and stop buttons to issue a run command for a machine, right? So we know we go ahead and insert a new rung. You could either drag and drop commands there, or you just hit the insert button on your keyboard, and we need examine if closed, so I can type XIC, enter, it will type it, and then we know whenever the start push button is pressed, we want to turn on. So we do an output energize instruction. Output energize instruction is used to set an output high. Use that, and we create a bit called run machine. Just run machine. And since it's a new tag, we go ahead and define, right click and define run, new run machine, and say okay, create. It's a bool and we are fine, right? So now we said, hey, when we push the start button, we want to run the machine, but at the same time we need something else to stop, right? And we know we have a stop push button, stop push button, and we'll go ahead and assemble this for now. As you can see, right now if I go ahead and push the start push button, I push the start push button. Once I let go of the start push button, watch what's going to happen. The run machine OTE dropped out. Okay, run, I push the start push button, the run machine is on, the machine is running. I let go of the start push button, the machine is off. Now we don't want this feature. We want the operator to push the start button, and then the machine needs to be running until the stop button is pushed, right? So for this we use a logic called as seal in logic. All we're going to do is seal in the start push button with the run machine state. Okay, we go ahead and assemble it. Okay, now what's going to happen is when I push the start push button, the run machine will be on, and in the next scan, since the run machine is on, it will seal it, and we don't look at the start push button until the stop push button is pressed. So let's see this in action. Now I'm pushing the start button. You could see the run machine was on, and once the run machine is on, since we used that bit to seal the start push button, the machine is still running. Now when I push the stop push button, machine stops. Again, one more time, when I push the start push button, the machine is running because we are using the seal in bit of the run machine OTE. Okay, now when I hit stop, the machine stops. Okay, so this is how we use start and stop push buttons. If you have any questions, please let me know. In the next video, we're going to talk about the examine if open instruction. Thank you. If you like this channel, please subscribe, and if you have any questions, please post it in the comments. Thank you.